In this video, we're going to be setting up the sample database that we're going to be using throughout the rest of this course. So what you first need to do is go to the GitHub link in the description for this video and make sure you download the Video Easy setup file that's there. Once you've downloaded that file, open up dbeaver, and the first thing that we're going to be doing is just writing a single statement to create the database, and then our script is going to be populating that database with tables and data. So let's create the database. We can execute that statement. Let's head over to the database navigator and make sure that it was created correctly. We'll have to refresh. And we can see there's our Video Easy database. Let's now set that as the active database. Okay, so that's our active database, and what that means is that any scripts or any SQL statements that we run now will be run against that database, which is what we want. Now let's open that script that we just downloaded. And we'll just bring our results tab down a little bit. Okay, so this script contains some statements that you wouldn't be familiar with at this point. However, if you scroll down a little bit further, what you'll find is that it does create statements that you would have seen in the previous video. So you can see this script has statements like creating a table called customer. You can see that they're creating a table called actor. And if we scroll even further down, you can start to see some insert statements where data is being inserted into those tables that were just created. So what we want to do now is we want to execute the whole script. We don't want to go through and execute one statement at a time. This is a very big file. We want to execute all of the statements in this file. So firstly, let's just double check once again that Video Easy is our active database. It's bolded. And you can see up here in the toolbar as well that the Video Easy database is the active database. Okay, so that looks good. So we're going to come over here and click Execute Script. Now this is a big script. It contains a lot of insert statements. There's a lot of data that's getting inserted. So it will probably take a couple of minutes on your computer for this script to run to completion. You can track the progress in the bottom right corner. Okay, so once that script has completed successfully, we'll find we'll have a whole bunch of different result tabs. We don't need those, we can get rid of those. So let's go close multiple results and get rid of those. Now let's go and have a look at the entity relationship diagram for this database. So we go over to the database navigator. And on the public schema, let's right click and we'll select View Diagram. And I'll zoom this in to 150%. And what we're looking at now is the relationship diagram that we saw as well in the earlier video. So we can see that it's got our tables represented in the diagram and the lines joining the tables representing the relationships between those tables. So that's good. It looks like our database schema was created successfully. Now let's have a quick check and make sure that all our data was inserted correctly. So we'll close this. We can close the script now as well. We no longer need that. And we can get rid of this create database statement. So we're just working in a blank SQL editor again. And we know that there's a table called film. Now let's just select all the rows from the film table. So that's great. That works successfully. We can see that there's a bunch of different films in our film table. So it looks like all the data was inserted in our tables correctly. We can check some other tables as well, so we can have a look at the actor table. We can execute that statement. That looks fine as well. Okay, so finally what we might do is just a little convenience thing for ourselves, so that whenever we open dbeaver in the future, we'll be automatically connected to our Video Easy database and ready to write statements against that database. Right now, if we were to close dbeaver and reopen it again, we would be connected to the Postgres database by default. So we can change that really easily just by going over to the Database Navigator, right-clicking on our connection and going Edit Connection. In this dialog, we can see that our default database that we connect to is Postgres. Let's just change that to VideoEasy. And we can hit Test Connection, and that works fine. So let's hit OK now. We'll get prompted to reconnect, and let's just press yes. And we don't want to save the script, so we can just hit no. Okay, so now whenever we open dbeaver, we'll be automatically connected to the VideoEasy database. And we can see that that's our active database. Maybe let's rename this connection just so it's got the correct name. So change that to VideoEasy. And that's done. Okay, so that's fantastic. We've got our sample database set up, and we'll be using this sample database throughout the rest of this course. Now, it's time to dive into some SQL.